Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you guys an update on the new owner having to move situation. It just took a really interesting turn today and also has a weird component to it as well. Let me start by saying that I had a doctor's appointment today. And the main purpose of actually my doctor's appointment was really wanting to find out if and when my insurance, any of these branches of my insurance, being that it's a not just a hospital chain, but it's also a teaching chain of hospitals as well. From what I had seen online, there were supposed to be several different offices that were supposed to be getting the vaccine. And my main thing was wanting, I guess, reassurance that having a penicillin allergy wasn't going to cause me issues when I do get the shot. So that was mainly my purpose for the actual appointment. But while I was gone, Ronnie called me and told me that there was a guy outside our building and he was working on wiring that led into our breaker box. Well, the breaker box is actually on my neighbor's side of the basement. And I said, is it UGI? Because they're supposed to install meters. And he said, no, there's no marking on the vehicle. Well, no marking on the vehicle is sketchy as all hell. Because UGI would have their own qualified workers doing things. If it was an issue of putting on separate water meters, the city authority would be doing that. Each group has their own employees to do their work. From what I understand, they don't subcontract. For example, PP&L, they have their own workers. So again, the odds of them subcontracting are very, very slim. So who this person was, I have no idea, but I told my son to record it, which he did in the video. And Ronnie went over to this person and he asked him politely, where, you know, who do you represent? Do you have some kind of ID? And the guy basically told him to get the hell out of his face. And so even other people seen this person working, and he was acting really shady because when I got a ride back from, you know, my doctor's appointment, I've seen the guy and he's watching cars going by and this and that while he's fooling around with wiring. And I'm thinking, okay, this is really suspect because you have no uniform on and your van has no business name on it. So who are you and what the hell are you doing? Okay, so Ronnie had told me that there was some sort of paper taped to our back door. And when I got the paper, it didn't have my name on it. It had my next door neighbor's name. And I thought, well, why would a notice for her be on our door? And then when Ronnie went over to her door, because she was at work, that had her name on. So we're scratching our head like, okay, what the hell's going on here? So in the meantime, we call the magistrate's office because it did have a constable's name on. Asked for a phone number to reach the constable who served the paper. I talked to him and he says, well, I'll be back in like an hour and I'll explain to you what's going on. I thought, okay, well, that don't sound good. All right. So in the meantime, my old landlord calls me. Tony calls me from work. And he says to me, well, what the hell's going on over there? And I'm like, I don't really know. I said, I was at the doctor's. I said, and I come home, there's a notice taped to the door, but it doesn't have my name on, it has Yuta's name on. And he said, well, you're the only person that speaks English good. He said, so I figured I'd give you a call. And I go, why? What do you mean? And he says, well, apparently everybody got notice on their door. Most interesting, because the people who live upstairs have a 6-month lease. So I don't know what's going on with that. But what it basically boils down to is that I don't know if this guy, who apparently is the landlord, but he's also a manager, I don't know. I don't understand it. He apparently decided that he wants to evict everyone. So I gathered that other people didn't want to sign no lease with $900 a month rent either, is what I'm gathering from it. So when the constable came, he turned around and marked out the neighbor's name and put my name on it. And it basically says, date March 8th, 21. You have 10 days from today's date to vacate, otherwise a lawsuit will be filed against you at district court. Now, I reminded this guy, I said, well, I paid my rent. I said we paid our rent for the month of March. So to turn around and say that I have to move out in the month of March when the rent's paid till April 1st is like rather bullshit, pardon my language, because, you know, if I had known this kind of crap was going to come rolling down, I wouldn't have paid it. You know what I mean? It just would have been extra money for us. But, you know, being a good person, we paid it, and the property sold 4 days later. So I don't know what that entails, but the constable made note of that, you know, I told them, I said, well, our rent's paid till April 1st. Granted, eviction courts are starting April 2nd, but because, for anybody who isn't aware of it, the eviction moratorium actually ends March 31st. So, yeah, doesn't put people into a good, you know, situation. Now, I did Friday apply for legal services, and in my area it's called North Penn Legal. And I basically, even though I didn't actually talk to the lawyer who's assigned to my particular, our case, I did leave a message for her today, though, about this, because nobody really seen this coming. I mean, it was one thing to turn around and ask a person, well, how much time do you need? But, you know, let's be honest, when you're hearing all this for the very first time about your rent being raised $300 in one bang, and then having to pay for your own heat, it tends to kind of like, you know, really mess with your mind at first. And so are you really going to honestly know? Does anybody really know how much time they actually need? They don't. Now, I will say this, that, yes, we are, you know, hoping, you know, like I said, nothing is definite yet in stone as far as South Carolina. But also, the reality today, you know, hit me too, that we should definitely have a backup plan in the event that that doesn't look like it may work out. We need to have a backup plan. So I have a friend in one town keeping their eyes out for, you know, something for us. My nephew up in Scranton is actually going to be keeping his eyes open as well. And the reason is because I wanted us to be covered. See, like my friend, as far as that goes, she can stay at her mom's until she's ready to go to South Carolina. She has that safety net for a moment. We don't. And so, you know, I think in a way it's more urgent for us than it is even, quote unquote, for her. So the idea that we really need to get the ball rolling and start looking local within state as compared to out of state, also, it's because we're in a different situation, So, like I did, say to her, I go, well, at least you're lucky in that sense. You can pack up your house, go, a few miles away to your mom's until you're ready to, go. But we don't have that luxury. And we don't have a family member that we could stay with. So it's the idea of, we are, in a bit of a different situation. And my friend just has, like, different legal things, like, here going on in the state with her landlord, with her husband. It's a whole bunch of different things. And I figure it's proactive and in our best interest to also have a backup plan in the event, something goes wrong, because I certainly don't want to be in a position where we put all our eggs in one basket and it doesn't work out. So, it's not a good position to be, quote unquote, like in limbo, if you understand what I'm saying, in the sense that, like, we couldn't leave to go down there until she is ready to leave. And her timeline is obviously different than our timeline. So, hopefully I hear back from this lawyer tomorrow. And I think what makes it really bad, too, is the fact that the eviction moratorium is going to be up end of the month. Because, okay, I get that a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, more people are getting vaccinated, and so, like, this threat is passed. No, there is still a pandemic going on. And God forbid, if any of these variants take hold in any, one state, forget it. Like, that's going to be a whole new ballgame, And bad enough to basically, like, hear from, my own doctor's office that they are registered to give the vaccines, but they have heard nothing from the Pennsylvania Department of Health as to if or when they would receive them. And they said, obviously, they actually have a list, I guess, prepared already of people that would be eligible for it. It would just be a matter of calling someone up to, come in and get it. So that's a good thing. But again, that's being, like, in limbo. And just hanging in limbo is not a position I like being in. So, not to mention, too, I still don't know what the sketchy person was doing outside the building. I had thought, well, maybe, putting in different meters for the water. Because what we used to basically do was each person had to pay back the landlord $45 every 3 months towards the water and the sewer. So I really don't know what this person was doing, but the fact that he was, in an unmarked vehicle is very, very questionable.
Not to mention he didn't speak much English.
And he didn't speak very much English, and it just leads me to believe that maybe it was some friend or family member or something that the landlord had here. But again, I can't begin to imagine what he was actually doing, because he can't install the UGI meters, he can't install water meters, and he can't legally, I don't believe, mess around with the PP&L meters either. Because I think PP&L would have a nice lawsuit on their hands. So I don't really know what this person was doing. I hope I find out soon what they were actually tampering with, because there's a whole bunch of wires hanging, exposed, outside the building, which is the most stupid looking, bizarre thing I've seen in my life. They're not covered from the elements. They're basically just a whole mess of wires hanging there. Like, not really very safe looking, to be quite honest. I don't know. I really, truly do not know. But yeah, so that is like, you know, our update. And like I said, you know, I was really thinking about this last night, and I thought we definitely need to have a plan B. You know, my grandma used to always say, don't put all your, you know, eggs in one basket. So yeah, unless something is 100% infallible, set in stone, yeah, not a good idea to do that. So, you know, we will let you guys know as things go on. But yeah, this is the newest turn of events. You know, coming home to this notice. So, yeah, I'm actually working on a, new feeding dish system for Oreo and Feisty, a review video. I ordered a new, feeding system for them. Oreo seemed not to have a problem with it. Feisty, I don't know, I don't think she is, like, quite comprehending what it is. Like, why is it different? It's supposed to help pets with their digestion. It's for cats and dogs. And hopefully I will upload that video tomorrow, and you guys can check that out. So, hey guys, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit my subscribe button.
Hi.
Don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified every time that I upload a new video. And take care, everyone, and I will see you all on my next one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.